Hey Josie, you're an ambassador for the show Racism, the Red Card campaign. Can you tell us a little bit about why you got involved?
Um, well, I've experienced racism in the game, many times. So I felt like it was a good opportunity for myself to kind of further educate people who kind of don't understand the whole racism in football and how big it actually is. So I felt like it was a good opportunity for myself to represent the club and represent myself and other people that have gone through this process.
Thank you. You've played throughout your career in England, America, Holland, Spain and Turkey. What have you noticed about people's attitudes towards racism in those particular countries?
Each of them varied. I think the worst moment I had was in Holland, actually, during a game where I forgot who. I think we were playing Den Bosch in a cup game, and it was incredible the racial abuse that I endured in that game, and it was sad at the same time and disappointing because it's something you don't want to see at this level happen, and especially the time we're in today. You'd think that we'd be a bit ahead of those situations from occurring, but still it happened, and it's disappointing, but at the same time it's good to educate and use that to show the young kids on how not to behave.
So as a migrant who's moved to lots of different countries to work, were you ever treated badly or differently by anybody outside of the situation you just mentioned?
No, I think every place I've played, the people have been kind. In terms of the clubs that I've played at, I've never experienced any type of that behavior.
How do you feel about recent incidents in America and tensions that's created between certain communities?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think it's difficult to swallow sometimes when you see some of these crimes that are occurring, and especially to young unarmed kids. It's difficult. The biggest losses for their families, for their parents, and then others where you have them on video. The Eric Gardner when he's being choked to death. It's difficult to watch. It's difficult to accept. To then understand that these people don't get indicted for the crimes committed. So, I think it flares a lot of things, a lot of topics to talk about, and I think it's in a way good and also bad. Obviously, you don't want the violence to occur. You don't want people to riot and stuff like that. But I think it's a topic that needs addressing. Racism is still alive, and it can't be swept under the rug anymore.
Do you think football provides a good example of the value of people from different backgrounds working together?
Yeah, I think I've always been a big believer that football, especially on the international stage, it brings the world together. It's an incredible sport because I think it's the only sport in the world that's played literally everywhere. That's a passion. Everybody has a passion for football everywhere in the world. So I think with that, you need to use that power and unite people and educate people on a lot of topics, whether it be racism, whether it be other type of things. So I think football has a lot of power and it needs to be used in the right way.
Thank you. You've played with teammates from a variety of different countries and backgrounds and things. Would you say you've learned things about them as people, as individuals, as representatives of where they come from, and what's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, I've played with basically a player from every every country, I feel like, and it's been great to meet different people and to have a kind of look inside of their cultures and what they're used to, what they experience, and it's been fabulous. Football has been a great gift to me to let me see the world, let me see different cultures, and I'm very proud of that.
You're captain of the USA national team. Have you ever experienced any racism from opposition players or fans while on international duty?
Maybe once or twice, but it's something that unfortunately you get used to at times in terms of it being part of the environment, depending on where you're playing. At the same time, you hope that, like I said, those situations can stop occurring, but it's become a bit of a thing where you have to just get on with. So now we want it to be a thing where you don't have to get on with it because it doesn't occur. So that's what everybody's working towards, FIFA as well, and I think that the common goal is clear, and hopefully we can achieve that.
How significant a role can education play in challenging racism?
Yeah, I think education is a huge topic. It's one of the most important things because I think this type of behavior, when you behave with hatred, and this is not, you weren't born like that. I think it's something that you develop over time, and I think that's where education comes in. You have to educate young kids, young people everywhere how to care for one another, how to respect yourself, and how to respect others. I think that is paramount, and it's something that, like I said, needs to be taught from the young kids up
partly answered this already, Jose, but do you believe that footballers have a part to play in helping to tackle racism, and can you act as a role model to help encourage a positive anti-racism message?
Yeah, obviously, football's our role models. You know, we're very big figures to young kids in Europe when we play football, even in America. But at the same time, it's important that the parents as well, you know, take a part in making sure the child understands what's right and what's wrong, because they're with them on an everyday basis. And as footballers, when we're on the TV screen, we have to make sure, you know, that we behave in the way that, you know, young kids will look up to and want to be like, and not in ways that can sort of steer them in the wrong direction.
Fantastic, thank you. What advice would you give to young people then who are experiencing racism?
I would say a lot of the times I think it's people just not really understanding, you know. And then a lot of times I think it is people that just have that hatred in their heart. So what I would say to a young kid is to not blame yourself. It's not your fault, you know. Just to try to keep a mellow head and understand that some people still believe certain things in the wrong ways. And you have to understand that because that's how the world is today. And to just send a positive message and to say a prayer for that person, because maybe there are some things going on in his or her life that you may not understand. Show racism the red card.